But we're going to get you caught up right now on the latest offers from the Detroit Three. All right, GM has made its sixth offer, but they have not given out the details. Sources saying there has been movement in a few key areas. As of September 21st, they had made a 20% wage increase, and according to Fain last week, did not restore COLA or end tiers. All right, let's go ahead and look at Ford. Ford made its seventh offer, wage increase of more than 20%, cost of living allowances, and also elimination of the wage tiers there. And Stellantis, they offered to raise pay by 20%, also cost of living allowance if inflation exceeds 3%, eliminating tiers at Mopar, which is the parts service and customer care division of the company. All right, it has been a bit quieter this week than in the last few weeks. And again, usually in the last 2 weeks, we heard from Shawn Fain on Wednesday saying he would be making an announcement on Friday morning. That announcement did not come out until yesterday afternoon, and today's announcement is pushed to 2 o'clock. You can't help but try to read something into that and a bit of the quiet nature of how things have gone this week. So joining me now is Merrick Masters. He's a professor of business at Wayne State University, and he has really been walking us through this entire pre-negotiations and also through the strike right now. Merrick, it's great to see you on this Friday. Here we are again, waiting to hear from Shawn Fain. What do you make about the change in the timing of announcements and that it has been a little bit quieter this week?
Well, I think it's quieter because there's probably been more progress being made at the negotiating table. There are lots of offers, and we don't have the details on all of them yet, but progress is being made in the sense that the companies are moving in the union's direction, and that suggests that at this point in time, they could be nearing a deal. When things get a little bit quiet towards the end of a week like this, when you expect announcements, they're probably giving the companies as much time as possible, and they may have indicated to them, the auto workers, that they were going to come forward with a different offer later on, and that's why you're seeing this postponed until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So it's a very fluid situation, a lot of dynamics going on, but I remain optimistic that even though they may not get the deal this week, they're moving closer to one.
Because we're really looking at impact now. That is the bottom line. We're starting to see Ford and GM, Stellantis starting to lay off other workers as the ripple effect with the strike, and also looking forward to suppliers as well, as especially the smaller ones that really could get impacted on this. What are the numbers that you're seeing right now, Merrick?
Well, from Ford, I've seen that they estimate that the impact, including the strikers, is over 18,000 workers, and that also includes the loss of supplier jobs, which they estimated about 9,000. General Motors has estimated that supplier losses plus the number of strikers approaches about 14,000. I've seen estimates from various parts of the country, for example, in Toledo, that they've had layoffs of about 2,000. And there was a recent survey done that indicated that 30% of the suppliers were planning or had made layoffs already, and that more were anticipating doing so. So the ripple effect is here, and we have yet to see the union hit the solar plexus of the companies.
And so that's what was actually going to be my next question. So we saw 3 assemblies go out at first, and then you saw the large system of the parts plants, and now then the 2 assemblies again last week. Is this where you see that there could be a bigger hit this week?
Well, there could be, but I think there's tremendous pressure on Shawn Fain within the union to keep the pressure up. And that means that there's going to have to be real solid progress before he doesn't announce another strike this week. Workers are going to get restless over time. You know, the strike wears on people, and you've already had workers out now for 3 weeks, and they're going to begin to ask questions like, why don't you step up the pressure if we're not near an agreement? We can't stay out here forever, even though it's only a small fraction, less than 18% of the UAW membership involved in these 3 companies. So essentially what the union is doing, I think, is developed a very interesting strategy, and it is forcing the companies to bargain against themselves. So each company is really bargaining against itself at the bargaining table with the UAW.
When we look at other potential strikes around the country right now, we know that casino workers have voted to authorize a strike should it come to that. We know here in Detroit, we also hear hospitality workers out in Vegas. You've got the Kaiser Permanente strike going on, right now in healthcare. Are they all watching what the UAW is doing?
Very closely. And the concerns across these companies are basically the same. Workers are concerned about wages, they're concerned about benefits, they're concerned about job security. And they want to make certain, they're also concerned about staffing issues, which have the tremendous effect on wages and also the working conditions that people live under on a day to day basis. So these concerns have been mounting, they've been pent up for a long period of time, and we're seeing them voiced now.
All right, Merrick Masters, a business professor at Wayne State University. Thanks so much for joining me. I know that you're going to join me later on this afternoon. We're going to be carrying the Facebook Live message from Sean Fain, streaming it here on Local 4 Plus, and you're going to join me after that to kind of give us some perspective and context on it. It's always good to see you, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Thank you. Good to see you as well. Take care.